In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to subtract using what I call the multicultural algorithm. This algorithm has some similarities to the typical algorithm we use in the United States, but it also has some exciting differences. Some of the similarities are that we're going to subtract moving from the right to the left. So I'll begin with the ones place value and I'll make my way to the left as I subtract. And when we need to borrow, we're going to borrow from the top number, just like we do in our standard algorithm in the United States. The exciting differences happen when we actually do the borrowing process. So when we put the borrowing into effect. And I'll go into these in a little bit more detail in an example. So let's start by taking 48 from 63. So it's important to keep in mind that in this problem, I physically have 63 items and I'm taking away 48 items. So I have 6 tens and 3 ones, and I'm wanting to take away 4 tens and 8 ones. So beginning from the right and moving towards the left, I see I have 3 ones and I'm wanting to subtract 8 ones. So as this problem is written, I do not have enough ones to take away 8. So I'm going to come over to the tens column and do some regrouping. I'm going to cash in one of these tens for 10 ones. I have 6 tens, so if I cash one of those guys in, I'll be left with 5 tens. And here's where the difference happens. In our algorithm, that 10 that we borrowed would cash in for 10 ones that I would add to this 3 to get a total of 13 ones. But what the multicultural algorithm does is it takes those borrowed 10 and uses it to do the subtraction. So that 10 that I borrowed cashes in for 10 ones, and I'm going to use those 10 ones to subtract the 8 ones. So from the borrowed 10, I'm going to subtract 8 ones, and that has 2 ones left over. And I'm going to add those leftover ones to the 3 ones I already had. So now I have 5 ones after my subtraction has been performed. Now moving to the tens column, I have 5 tens and I want to take away 4 tens, so I'm left with 1 10. So 63 minus 48 is 15. So let's do a slightly more complicated problem. Now I'm going to subtract 486 from the number 732. So starting from right to left, I see I have 2 ones and I want to take away 6 ones. So I'm going to need to regroup. So I'm going to move over to my tens column. I have 3 tens, so I'm going to cash one of those tens in, which will leave me 2 tens on the table. And that 10 that I cash in will give me 10 ones that I can use to perform my subtraction. So 6 from 10 is going to leave me 4 ones, which I'm going to add to the 2 that were already on the table. So now I have 6 ones. Moving to my tens column, I only have 2 tens left and I'm wanting to take away 8 tens. So I'm going to need to regroup. I'm going to move over to my hundreds column, and from the 700s, I'm going to cash one of those guys in, which would leave me 6 hundreds. And that 100 I cash in is going to be worth 10 tens. So those 10 tens are going to get used, the 10 tens that I borrowed are going to get used to do my subtraction. So 10 minus 8 leaves me 2 tens added to the 2 I already had. That's going to give me 4 tens. Now I can see that my ones place subtraction and my tens place subtraction are crossed out, so those subtraction parts have already been completed. But this 4 in the hundreds is not scratched out yet, so I still need to complete this subtraction. So I have 6 hundreds and I need to take away 4 hundreds. That's going to leave me 2 hundreds. So 486 subtracted from 732 is 246.